what's up, tubers? This is the SHTF Hunter. Um, Today's video is going to be called Is a 300 Blackout Belong in a Prepper's Arsenal? Uh, I'm going to make some arguing points for and against it, and I'll let you decide, if you think it belongs in your arsenal or not. And there are certain circumstances where it may belong in your arsenal. So, uh, I guess we're going to kind of get started. Now, in my opinion, the 300 Blackout is what some people around here deer hunt would call a mouse gun. If you keep your shots under 100 yards, it'll drop deer. I don't know too many people around in this area that shot a deer over 100 yards with a 300 Blackout and killed it. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying they may be pushing the limits of its capability. And this, like I say, this video is asking the question, does it belong in a prepper's arsenal? Since I got my suppressor, I've been messing with it a lot. I actually got a hold of some Hornady Sub X bullets after shipping and handling. It cost me almost $2 a round. The Hornady Sub X were designed to. They're designed to open up the bullets designed to expand at slow velocities, at subsonic velocities, kind of like pretty much, Hornady probably used some of their pistol bullet technology for this, to work. Most 308 bullets are designed to only open at high velocity, but not the Hornady Sub X. So I didn't even think to bring them up here to show them to you, but anyway. So I've been working on the other subsonic loads. I got some Hornady AMAX 208 grain. I loaded that with, let me see, I took some notes here. So I loaded those with 8 grains H110. It works in it even works in my AR-15 pistol. The velocity with 8 grains H110 out of the Ruger American was 950 feet per second, and that's with a 16-inch barrel. The velocity out of the AR-15 pistol with a 7.5-inch barrel was 900 feet per second. So lost like 50 feet per second. That's not that big of not that great of a loss, but all right, we'll make a few arguing points for it. Now, in my area, I know several people. The 223, when we talk about AR-15, the 223 is not legal in the state of Virginia to hunt with because the bullet diameter is so small. But it's 22 caliber. However, the 300 Blackout is, and so I know several people in the area who use AR-15 with 300 Blackout barrel as a youth rifle, and one of the reasons being is because you can collapse the stock. So you got a young child deer hunting, you collapse the stock, as they grow older, they can stick the stock out even further, So it's a rifle that grows with a shooter. And a guy at church, he takes his little boy hunting with it, and he's killed 2 or 3 deer with it. But, like I say, you keep your shots under 100, 300 Blackout will kill them. I killed one that it was about 100 yards with a 150 grain Winchester Extreme point. Hit it right where I was supposed to. Deer run short ways, fell down. So that's one argument for it, is the fact it can be used as a youth rifle. And it's definitely a unique cartridge, especially for reloaders. Most reloaders will have some type of 308 bullet laying around, some different grain, whatever. I've got them, right now I have everything from 110 grain 308s up to 208 grain. So, and the cool thing about 300 Blackout, any of those bullets you can stick in a 300 Blackout case and shoot it just like a bigger cartridge, like a 308, 30-06. So it's definitely unique in that perspective. As far as a prepping gun, okay, the of course, it was it was designed to be used subsonic or supersonic. The cartridge was. It's easy to, with a bolt action, you can make just about any bullet subsonic. There's loads out there to make about any weight bullet subsonic for a bolt action. The semi-auto, you're going to have to use a heavier weight bullets, 190 up to 220. But, so this is my Ruger American. Right now it's got a Trijicon RX30 reflex on it, and it's just on there temporary. I've been planning on getting a Sightmark Wraith. I like that Sightmark Wraith because it's real compact, but I ain't got it yet. But anyway, this was one of my test rifles, and for anybody that's trying to get into this kind of stuff, the bolt action is always going to be quieter than the AR-15, because the AR-15 has gas escaping. When it cycles, gas escapes. It makes a louder sound. I know it has to make a louder sound to the shooter. I could tell a big difference when I was testing my 208 grain bullets yesterday. A subsonic bullet and this and the bolt action sounds like a pellet gun going off. Whereas the using the AR-15, it don't sound like a pellet gun going off. But I use some 125s in this too. It makes a pretty good crack. About 2 videos ago, I put a video up of my buddy shooting this gun with 125 grain, and then he's shooting one with the Hornady Sub X, and you can tell the difference between supersonic and subsonic bullets going through this thing. One thing I learned, if you can keep your bullet velocity probably below 9 or 950, it really makes a big difference when it comes to silence. But so this is about prepping. I definitely, like, if I could have a larger caliber rifle for deer hunting, I would always take the larger caliber over this. If it was the SHTF scenario, it's, like I say, it's a mouse gun compared to 30-06, 308. So definitely not the gun I'd prefer for big game hunting. And maybe another argument for a 300 blackout, or just getting a 300 blackout upper for your AR, is the fact that you can use the same bolt as your 5.56. And all right, another argument is, I don't know how long you've been watching my channel, but this was a AR 300 blackout pistol I put together, and it fits in this backpack. But so here's the argument. I'm getting ready. Like, I started wondering about doing this in 223 using a 7.5-inch barrel, but I did my research ahead of time and stopped myself from making a mistake. And when I say a mistake, a 223 and a 7-inch barrel has a muzzle velocity around 2,000 feet a second, which is just basically like firing a 22 Magnum. You're just wasting more powder, and then you're only pushing a 55 grain bullet. So with the 300 blackout, you don't, with a 7.5-inch barrel, you don't lose a lot of velocity between this length barrel, and even a 16-inch. So you're pushing a bullet twice the weight of a 223. We'll say a 125 grain bullet's pretty typical, 150 grain bullet. So you're pushing that weight of a bullet at the same velocity. You're pushing, like, the same velocity as a 223, and you're going to have more downrange. It's going to have more downrange capability. Now, as far as defense, You know, I hadn't stretched these out very much, but I'm kind of thinking probably about as far as you want to push a 300 blackout's probably 200 yards. You know, so does it make a good defensive weapon against people? Probably. Does it make a good big game cartridge? No. so, you know, this video is to try to help you decide if you need one in your arsenal. If you got a young kid and you want to get them into deer hunting and see, you know, this is a pistol. It's a pistol brace, just for anybody checking. So your little guy can shorten the stock or the pistol brace and shoot a deer. Then as he gets older, he can pull it out. You know, so in that aspect, it's just, like I say, 300 blackout is definitely a unique cartridge. It's up to you to decide if it belongs in you know the prepper arsenal or not. I think every gun belongs in my arsenal, but if you wanted a AR-15, if you wanted a good cartridge for AR-15 for deer hunting, I would highly recommend the 350 Legend. I believe it. You know, it's going to outperform the 300 blackout, pretty serious. But as far as the defense cartridge, special purpose, you know, I think the 300 blackout is probably more for special purposes. You know, SHTF happens. You may have to do some spec ops, some really covert stuff. That's where the suppressor comes in, and and during the SHTF, I guess where I was going at with special purposes. In the SHTF, you know, hunting rules ain't really going to apply. You know, a man's got to feed his family, got to kill deer. So that's where suppressor 300 blackout may outperform everything else. Is quietly taking big game animals. You could you could use 110 grain bullets to make small game loads. You know, subsonic or whatever. But so yeah, it's definitely got used as a special purpose weapon. Put this in your backpack. Walk around the city streets. Nobody's gonna know you got it. So 300 blackout, definitely a special purpose weapon or cartridge. This is the SHTF Hunter. I'm out.